Today's video is being brought to you by NeverDenyMe.com. Make sure you take a look at the website for all your graphic needs, anything from digital to physical. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Nate Matthews back again with another video. Today, as you can see right here, we have the Brother SE625 sewing and embroidery machine, and we're going to be going ahead and doing another project on here today. This one is not going to be too long. It's a little quick assignment real quick, right? So what happened was, right, somebody wants to make the Polo design. As you can see that we do have loaded into the machine right there. They're thinking about getting this machine, but it does look like they live in another country. So before they go through the hassle of buying a machine and having to send it back if it doesn't do what they needed to do, they wanted me to stitch out the file for them. So they actually digitized this, or got somebody to digitize it for them. I also know how to do digitizing though. If you guys need anything like that, contact me. The website is NeverDenyMe.com. The link is going to be in the description. Also hit me up on Instagram and stuff like that as well to see some of my work, and you know, on the website, all that. Anyway, so yeah, they sent me two different designs, or it's the same design, two different sizes, and we're going to be taking a look at it today and seeing exactly how they turn out. First thing I want to show you guys is on your machine, it'll actually show you which hoops you can use. So this is a standard 4x4 hoop, the one that's selected right there. And the smaller hoop, I believe this is like a 2.5 or something like that. So when I actually choose that hoop, both of these designs are still highlighted. If it doesn't fit, it'll actually turn gray. So as you can see right here, we have one design that's 1 inch. You see that? 1 inch. And another one that's 1.81 inches. So when we do the 1 inch design and get a little preview of it, this is kind of how it'll look. So this one, you know, before I even test it out, I'm kind of thinking, you know, maybe it's not going to be the best because there's all those empty spaces, because it looks like the design had to be edited. Now, I didn't do anything to these files. This is not my stitch out. All I did was put these files into my flash drive right here. Again, link is going to be in the description for the exact one I use on how I, you know, put the images into the machine and stuff like that in the description. So yeah, there's that one, but I can see there's empty space. So I'm wondering if that's going to be good or not. And in the hoop, this is what it will look like if it's a large hoop. In a smaller hoop, this is what it will look like. So therefore, we can still fit it in a smaller hoop. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the other one. So I had that one selected, the 1 inch design that I said probably is not going to look good, but we're going to know for sure when I get to stitching it out. And we also have this one right here. And when we do a preview on this one, with it being in a 1 inch hoop, it can still fit, but it is going to make the design go sideways. And it does look a whole lot better to me. And when I actually put this file onto my computer, it actually couldn't see any of those stitches, like, you know, the little spots or nothing like that. Couldn't see them at all. So I think it's going to look great. So yeah, that one could be sideways. So what I'm going to be doing next is actually loading up my materials, right? So what I have here is the little hoop, because that's what I'm going to be using. The smaller the hoop, the less material you have to use. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be using both of these files, stitching out both sizes, putting them side by side and seeing which one looks better. I also have two pieces of felt. This is scrap fabric from a different project that I had already completed. And then I took a piece of the backing and I just cut it into 4s because I do believe that is small enough to go ahead and fit inside of here. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to set this camera down, get this all, you know, put together. And then, by the way, even though that's like a navy blue right there, I'm actually going to be using this blue because I really want it to pop off on the black backing that I'm going to be using today. So we're going to see how it looks. And this is regular thread, by the way. I don't know if I need to do another test with embroidery thread, but as I told you guys, regular thread does work in this because it is also a sewing machine. So why wouldn't regular sewing thread work in a sewing and embroidery machine? So yeah, the design is going to be a little bit thicker. We're going to see how they look. You know, we're going to see how it looks. All right, so here I go as I hoop the fabric. This right here does not come with the machine. As I told you guys, the only one that comes with the machine is the one that's right here. It is capable of having smaller hoop, but you're going to have to buy the hoop separately, which the link is going to be in the description. Matter of fact, you guys can just go to the website, NeverDenyMe.com. All my equipment and stuff is over there. For a lot of the questions that you guys ask me, the answer is on the website. So yeah, so smaller hoop that I bought separately. I'm going to be unscrewing this right here, popping it out. We're going to put the backing and we're going to put the fabric on top. And there we have it, guys. So I went ahead and hooped the fabric into the hoop. So I have a piece of felt on top, a little bit of stabilizer on the back. That's all we need. It's good. It's screwed on pretty good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just snap this in here. Same way as the other one would be, right? Just get this under the hoop, set this on there, snap, it's in there, locked in. Now we're going to get the thread. This is the color that I'm choosing today. Even though the design actually is darker blue, the way it works is, it's not like if you don't put the color into the machine that the machine says should be in there, it's not going to work. Whatever color you put into the machine is going to be the color that it stitches. So it doesn't really matter about what color it shows on the screen. Very simple. I'm just taking the hook off at the top. Might be slightly out of frame, but you guys have seen me load up the spool of thread numerous times, and the machine actually tells you right at the top exactly how to line it up to get the thread in there. So I'm just winding it around under number 6, around number 7, cut, there it is, and that's ready to go. Real quick right here, this design says it's going to take about 4 minutes for the 1-inch design to be stitched into the micro mini hoop right here, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how that goes, and let's see how it stitches out, guys. There it is, guys. So it's all finished embroidering. We're going to go ahead and pop it out of the machine. Take a look, see what it's looking like. So this is what the one looks like when I ended up doing it with a regular thread. I don't think it looks that great. But then again, this is the one that has the, you know, the smaller size that I didn't think would turn out that good anyway. So it could be a combination of me using the regular thread versus embroidery thread, or also that this file is just not meant to be sized at this size. So yeah, you can make out that that's Polo. However, the stitches and things like that are not the greatest. Let's see if we can focus that a little bit more. Again, I did not make this file. This file was sent to me. They just wanted me to make a video on how it looks before they ended up buying a machine. So again, just to give you a fair, you know, preview of your design, I'm going to use the correct color thread next, but for now this is how it looks with regular thread. I went ahead and loaded up some embroidery thread back there. As you guys can see, it's close to a color match that I actually had available right now. So what I'm deciding to do is I'm keeping that same piece of fabric, same stabilizer, same hoop. I never actually you know, changed it out. I'm going over to the machine, and normally when it was just in the center right there, now I'm just moving it all the way over to the right. And then just to make sure it doesn't cross paths with the one that's already in there, I'm hitting this icon at the bottom, and we're going to hit this tab right here just to make sure it, you know, the machine moves, and make sure it does not cross paths with where this other design is already at. There it is. So as you guys can see, it is going to be able to hoop on the same piece, just a little bit over to the right. It's not going to mess anything up. There it is. I'm pressing OK on my machine, and we're going to be ready to embroider this thing one more time. Same exact design with the appropriate thread this time. The second design is finished embroidering, and we're going to go ahead and take it out the hoop now and look at them side by side. They look like they stitched out the exact same way to me. Doesn't matter if I used embroidery thread on the right or the regular thread on the left. They're just different colors of thread, but the sew out and everything looks exactly the same. With it being such a small design, this is how it ends up looking on the back. Got those tie-offs and whatnot. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and rehoop this design, throw in the larger design of this image, and stitch it out side by side. Alright y'all, so this is the larger design that I'm going to be doing right now. The other one was 1 inch. This is 1.81 inches. I do have still the embroidery thread right there in the back, and I think I'm just going to stick with that one on this one because that's the way it was meant to be stitched. Now when I make these files myself, it can work either way, and I have done it with both embroidery and regular sewing thread. But with this one not being made by me, it looks like they did the stitches so tight to where, you know, we're going to have to stick with the embroidery thread. So I think I'm going to just stick with that, especially since that's all I could fit in this hoop. And as you can see right here, it did turn the design sideways. And if I try to rotate it out, as you can see, right now it's saying this design fits in the large hoop and the small hoop. Now if I start trying to move it over, you see that? That means it's going to go outside of the frame of where it's meant to be at. And it's just not going to work the same way the other one did, since this is a larger design. So I'm just going to keep it the way it's set right there. I'm going to press edit in. Again, this is a preview of what it will look like. That's how small it'll be in the hoop. If I choose the correct hoop right there, yeah. So I'm pressing OK. Embroidery. The other one said it was going to take 4 minutes. This one says it's going to take 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it in. And we're going to see exactly how it stitches out. Start it up. Let's go. This one looks a whole lot better than the other two did. You can actually see some details in there. You can see the guy has a hat on or something. Looks a whole lot nicer. Let me go grab the other. Alright guys, so here's how they came out. Again, this one didn't have enough space for me to go ahead and use regular thread. So this is regular thread, embroidery thread, embroidery thread. I do believe this is the original size of the file. And then it was condensed down to be, you know, smaller. Now from a distance, they all look pretty good, but I'm gonna show you guys something up close. So let me zoom in real quick. And there it is. So that's how these two look up close. Again, the one on the left is regular thread. The one on the right is embroidery thread. And I mean, you could tell it's a horse and somebody's on it with a stick in their hand or whatever. But the details are not that good, like at all, on either of them. So it has there's no difference in what type of thread you use, because they look exactly the same. They're just different colors because, you know, I had two different colors of thread. But the big thing in here, which I think the smaller size file is a negative, is because look at the back. When I tell you guys that I always try to make sure my designs are flat and there's no clumps or nothing sticking out the back, look at this. Can you see that? It's very, very, very clumpy in the back on that one, and not as much on the embroidered one with the correct thread, but it's definitely still there. If it would stay focused, that would be amazing. But yeah, it's just like all knotted up in the back on both of these. Does not look good at all. Again, I did not clip the threads or nothing like that, because this was just a test for somebody. This is not being sold or anything like that. This is just a test for themselves. It's very extremely hard. This one not as hard, but it's still it doesn't look nice to me. Now you guys can make your own decisions here. But yeah, I don't think the smaller one looks good at all. Now, I definitely do think that the person who digitized this design knew what they were doing, but I think when they knew what they were doing, they did it with this one, and then they just made it smaller by request. So this one, as you can see, this one, you can actually see the details. You can actually see, like, look, you can see somebody's arm right there. Like, they digitized the arm. Now, the horse and stuff like that, I mean, it doesn't look the greatest, but, I mean, when I was viewing it on the computer and the way it was stitching out right now, it looked nice, but I'm not too sure. This is how it looks. So again, if the person that asked me to do this, if this is for yourself, I mean, this is how it would look for yourself. Keep in mind too, the different fabric and stuff like that you put it on, it'll look different as well. Different stabilizer you use. Now, I mean, I'm using a really good stabilizer, but this piece of fabric that I'm using is just, you know, scrap fabric. So who knows if it can be better, but I mean, I've used this fabric before on plenty of my designs and they all came out great. So I do believe you're getting a true preview of what it'll look like if you did it, no matter what fabric is on. So yeah, it looks decent. I mean, if this is what you're going for, the back on this one looks nice. It's not clumpy. Now it's not straight or whatever, but not too clumped up. Again, I did not digitize this, so when I digitize my files and stuff like that, I set the density and stuff like that a certain way. When somebody else sends me a pre-made file, I have no idea what their density is and stuff like that. Like, I can't actually see it. My machine can just stitch it out. I can't go in there and edit stuff and change it, so therefore I could not change these to what I think would come out a little bit better. But again, this is how they look to the person who sent me these files, and I stitched them out. I mean, I hope this is what you were looking for. Don't let this design though, because again, I would say no to this. But if you're determining if this design is good, that's going to tell you if you should get an embroidery machine or not. I say just get an embroidery machine, because, you know, I got an embroidery machine when there were no videos online. Now there's a few, but I just took a chance. There were no videos online, and pretty much taught myself to do it. And you can really get some cool designs made. You can learn to make them yourself, and you know, I can make some for you and put them in your machine. Let me know what you guys think. Again, if you don't like it, don't thumbs down the video now, because, you know, this still is informative. I'm letting y'all know. But if it was me, I mean, I don't like it. Let me know what you guys think, though. If you guys want to see more designs, I actually have a whole bunch of more videos I'm just waiting to upload. Stick around, subscribe to the page. You know, 2 main YouTube channels. Links are going to be in the description. Catch you on the next one. Peace.